up, Kyle here. Another video game discussion I'll talk about. The previous video I talked about, the next system, which you should get and whatnot. Even though, like I said, only little information, very little information has been known of what's to come for the next 360. But anyway, one thing we do know is that both consoles, both the predecessors to the 360 and PS3, will drop this year, which poses the question. Should you trade or keep your 360 or PS3? So I'm going to give my opinions on this topic here and what I do myself. Some of my friends and I have had this conversation yesterday. We were talking about the next gen systems and whatnot, and should we keep or trade in our stuff? For me, in my opinion, unless you're somebody that's like just consistently like, oh, I gotta have something that's new just for the sake of it being new. I got to get the latest thing because it's just it's the latest thing. Then you might trade in your previous system to get that next system. Or if you're a casual game player, you may trade in your previous system to get that next system. However, I think people who are game collectors, people who are hardcore gamers, such as myself, I think you should keep your previous systems, in my opinion. For me, I'm not trading in my Xbox just to go and get the next Xbox. Reason being, one, when I bought the original Xbox, which came out in 2005, I had that Xbox for 5 years. From 2005, the time it came out, all the way to fall of 2010, I had my Xbox, the original white Xbox. I had that. That thing was starting to give me some problems after a while, after that life cycle, which is fine because most systems are supposed to have that 5 to 6 year lifespan. So I got rid of that late 2010 or holiday 2010. I bought the slick black Xbox Slim, the 260 gig. And I've had that since late holiday of 2010 all the way to now, spring 2013. So I've had this system for about 2 years. It still runs well. It runs smoothly. I'm not trading this in. Not only because of the great condition that this system still runs in, but I've invested a lot of money into, I guess you could say, my Xbox collection. From my previous Xbox that I had owned all the way down to the updated current one that I have right now. I've bought a Kinect. I've bought tons of games. A lot of them collector's editions, which will run you about 70 to 100 bucks depending on the game. I bought a lot of collector's editions to some of these games. Some of these games I have are hard to find, extremely rare video games in terms of fighting game wise. Some of these games are rare and hard to find. And on top of that, they're collector's editions as well as to being rare. So it makes it even more of a treasure for me to keep because it's collector's edition, but it's also a rare item at the same time. So it's a rare item, but a collector's edition of that rare item. So for me, I'm not, and I still play these games too. I still play my games, when I get the chance. So I'm not trading in my Xbox. I don't think it's worth trading in. Also, I know for some PS3 owners, have said like, hey, I just bought my PS3 a year ago, 6 months ago, and already Sony is dropping out the next system. I can't afford to trade this in and get the next PlayStation 4. For Sony owners, don't worry, because Sony always makes, for every system they make and come out with their main consoles, they always have a 10-year contract of games being developed and made for that system. So, like with the PS2, when PS2 came out in 2001, they didn't stop making games for it from 2001 all the way to, I believe, 2008 or 9. I think 9 maybe was the last year of the PlayStation 2 that they stopped making games for. So they always had that 8 to 10 year contract, and so the same applies to the PS3. They're still going to continue to make games and still support the PS3. And one of Sony's spokesmen even kind of touched on the subject and saying that the PS3 in his opinion, he says has not reached its full potential. And so they said, so because of that, they said, so just because its predecessor is coming out this year, they're not going to do away with the PS3 right away. They said because the PS3 is still a thriving system. It still has a large, market, and a lot of people still own PS3s, and they don't expect people to, just to ditch their PS3 just to get the PS4. So they said they're still going to support the PS3, that it has not reached its full potential, and that they still see it, like the PS2, lasting for another 5 years. So for PS3 owners, I recommend you guys keep your PS3s. I mean, unless you just don't give a damn about the games that you own on PS3 and whatnot, and you just wanna, you just gotta get the next thing, just gotta get it, then that's up to you. But if you're one of those people that are like, hey, like, you kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, I say keep your PS3, because Sony's still going to invest in the PS3 for the next 45 years to come, even when the PS4 drops. And you especially want to keep on your PS3 too, because once any new system drops, it takes about a good year to year and a half before you start really getting a good collection of games to support that new system. So, I mean, otherwise, you get your next Xbox or your next PlayStation, and it'll be sitting there for about 4 to 5 months because developers haven't came out with a good collection of games just yet to support the system. So that would be another feather in my cap, I would say, to keep your current gen consoles until the library of the previous systems start to grow. Now, as for Xbox owners, we don't have that privilege. For Xbox owners, once Microsoft comes out with their next predecessor, you can believe they're not going to invest in the 360. Now, when the next Xbox drops, they did say that they will drop the 360 Xbox to the price of $100. They will support it, I think, for within the next year, but I think around maybe 2015, you're going to start seeing the 360 decline, and Microsoft not really invest too much in the 360 come around, I would say, late 2014 going to 2015. So that's what Microsoft does. Once they come out with their next gen console, they kick it to the curb. The previous console, they kick it to the curb, just like Nintendo does with their previous system. Only problem is Nintendo, they lack in supporting their previous system like 2 years in before they come up with their next gen console, which is the sad thing. But with Microsoft, for Xbox owners, expect them not to continue the 360. I expect them to continue. I expect them to support with the new price drop. I expect them to maybe support it for about maybe 1 year, but I doubt even that. So for Xbox owners, I say keep your junk and whatnot. And then also too, the next systems, both systems will not be backwards compatible. So if you're thinking, hey, I'll keep my 360 collection, or I'll keep my PS3 collection, but still get the new system, I'll play games on that, next gen systems won't support previous gen's games. And a lot of people kind of find this as a complaint, but really, I don't think a lot of people knows how much work goes into making a game backwards compatible. That's extra labor work. That's extra money to invest that system to make that feature, to make a game go to be backwards compatible. So with that being said, if they were to add backwards capability to the next gen systems, the prices will be up even more than what they're already slated to be. So people have to understand that. So that in itself, in a nutshell, like I said, you want to keep your older games and stuff, you keep your current gen consoles, because the next systems won't support the games. So you guys give me your thoughts on this topic in the box below. Subscribe. Peace.